Okie dokie, artichoke. Let's talk about the Holosun ARO Gold Dot. This is new to me. I've heard about gold dots for years now. Never picked one up because the deal never landed in my lap, but some company was selling these for like $100 shipped, so here it is. And it's pretty cool. So these are the new versions, the Holosun ARO. They stopped making this, the Holosun HS403. This was their initial introduction into the red dot market way back when. I've had this one here for like 15 years. It's been a really long time. 2MOA red. It's not turned on. It's not a shake awake. Everything's manual. I've beat it up, and it still works, and it's great. So no complaints about the 403. I also have a Sig MS, not an MSR, a Sig Romeo5 new version to compare it to. But the ARO, and there's the gold dot. It probably looks yellowish or greenish on the camera, but we'll deal. Very cool sight. It is a side load battery. Some people don't like that because of the small little Allen key things here that you can strip out. I don't see why that's an issue because you probably only have to change the battery on this once every like 10 years. I don't think I've ever changed the battery on this. Actually, I'm lying. I probably have a couple times. I just don't remember. These here are, well, the batteries are on the side, so I guess you could call them side load. But no, these are like rheostat style side loading, but not a rheostat because the buttons are on the top. So recessed windage and elevation, great, so you don't crush the buttons while banging your stuff around. I have yet to do that on anything, but you know, the other reviewers say it's possible, so here we are. Very solid feeling metal body. Really nothing wrong with it. The new mounts are very cool. They are like, you know, Geissele Reptilia style stick mounts. I'm not a huge fan of them. It looks like the dot's kind of just floating there. Maybe that's the point. Who knows? I have these old school square style ADM / LaRue looking mounts. These are the ADMs. I like these. They're a little blocky. They're a little heavier, but they're solid. They're very cool. I like the vibes, you know. They're very, very nice mounts, but hey, this works. It's lighter. Something to note is the height from the, you know, this area, whatever, the main body to the bottom is much higher on these. And this is a newer sight, and you can see how much lower it is, but even lower is this one. The old school ones is right there, right? So that's pretty thick. So if I put this on this mount, it would be even higher up. So the mount that comes with it is a lower 1/3. And it's going to be just about the same height over rail as a lower 1/3 ADM mount with your, I guess, old school body size of the 403 or even the new Romeo 5. Sig Sauer Romeo5. So, usability wise, looking down this, it's a little bit of a training your brain difference, but it's very cool. There is a positive to the gold, and I just turned that red up a little bit. So you can't see it on the cameras. I did a YouTube short about this. Like, this all looks the same on a camera lens, right? Because my actual eyes are going to be different than your actual eyes. You're going to see things differently. Red dots with minor astigmatism look smeared, maybe look like a comet shape, you know, a comet flying through the sky. And the gold is supposed to mitigate that a little bit. It's supposed to make it look more circular, and by golly gosh, it does. Again, you can't see it on the screen here, but it definitely, oh, look, a parallax test. Oh, I just did that without knowing it. That's not really showing anything, but it looks cool. Anyway, these gold dots definitely look like more of a circle rather than a teardrop shape when looking at it. That's very cool. I didn't think it was true. I just thought it was internet lore. You know, you kind of read about it on forums and Reddit and Instagram and whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, get a gold dot. It's better than a red dot. And I was like, yeah, right, whatever. I finally got one, and man, I'll tell you what, it is more of a circle than a red dot is. So I don't know what kind of magic is involved in that. I'm not an ophthalmologist, but it works, and I like it. So what else is notable about these Holosun sights here before we close out my almost 10-minute rambling about red dots? The weight and the window size. If I'm not mistaken, I'm kind of pausing here because my brain froze. I'm trying to find you guys something, and I don't know if it's going to tell me the window size. Body dimensions, I don't care about. Oh, look, window size. It's in inches, but that's not what I was looking for. I think this is 22 millimeters. I might have to note myself in this video as a correction. And I think this is 20 millimeters. So the the viewport of this micro red dot is 2 millimeters larger, supposedly, if I am not a big dummy and I'm remembering that correctly, than your standard 20 millimeter of these type of sights. So that's good. Weight is good. You can see here the weight specification, especially with the lighter mount, only 3.3 ounces. I'm sure these are pushing a little more than that. Who knows? But, you know, ounces equals pounds, right? So these are very, very, very nice sights. You can see the body is smaller compared to, again, the Sig Sauer Romeo5 here. This is a very nice sight. This is a very, very solid, very, very good red dot. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. I would say probably the other big budget competitor to this sight right here. Around the same price point, you know, that 150 MSRP. You know, besides the mounts that it comes with, and this one does come with a similar mount to this, you know, it comes down to preference. It comes down to preference of what you're looking for, what your brand loyalty is. Holosun's been around for a long time. They have that track record now, probably the best, you know, Chinese company of making red dots and stuff like that. They've built a solid reputation for themselves. And just like I said, I've had this one right here. Lord knows it's like 15 years old now. Like, it's really, really, really old, and I can't kill it. I mean, I'm sure I could if I did one of those really dumb YouTube tests where I threw it at a bunch of rocks and up and down in my garage and dragged it down my driveway. You know, it'd probably crack or something, but that's not real world use. In real world competition and carbine class and training use, this has held up just fine, still works, is still the primary optic on one of my primary setups. And these here, the new competitors from the 2025-2026 timeframe, should be just as good or better. So no issues with these. Hopefully this little overview was helpful. These will be put on a 9mm and another 223 build to see how they fare over time. But I think that they are very, very nice and are worthy of you purchasing if you need a very good budget red dot. See you guys.